T-Boys TV, we're here for a match reaction to Bradford City 2, Luton Town 1. First defeat of the League One season. And yeah, pretty disappointing performance if we're being honest. I mean, me personally, myself, going into the game, I didn't expect us to win. I did say a 1-1 draw. But yeah, first half performance, terrible. I mean, the lineup, McGuinness was starting, alongside Anderson and Naismith. I didn't want to see that. Ali as a wing back, obviously I did say that, but we're very limited and we desperately need another option as a wing back. For me, I stand by it on the left and the right because, everyone's going on about Isaiah Jones and all that. Well, we ain't going to be back for, a while by the sounds of it. So we need to get someone else there, in my opinion. But definitely the left side, that is more of a priority out of the two. But yeah, McGuinness, he's not fully fit. You could see it. That's the reason I didn't want to see him come in this game. There was decent spells against Coventry that he had, but then there was a moment in the first half where I think it was first half, or it might have been second half in that game where he tried to slid in and just didn't get anywhere near it. But this game, he was all over the place. The goal, him and Anderson, it's poor. Anderson didn't live up to what he's been playing like, I'll be totally honest. But yeah, again, very frustrating. First half, sloppy on the ball, just very, very useless, really. I mean, Ali got a yellow card, and you can see that it's not ideal to put him there. And then obviously he got subbed off in the first half, and that's never a good look. When you get subbed off in the first half, especially if you're not injured. And that tells you all you need to know. Today was the biggest game that screams out desperation for a wing back, in my opinion. Because you look at it, Ali come off, he was on the left. Then Longwick come off. I don't necessarily think Longwick should have come off in this game. I think we should have put him centre-back, took McGuinness off, then put Kadoa. I thought Kadoa was one of the better players today. Him and Bramall, obviously they come on. And, we did get a goal back, obviously towards, the end of the game. And you're thinking, if we get a draw out of this, it's probably undeserved, but we'll take, I would have, because I said a draw going into the game. But yeah, very, very disappointing performances yet again, sloppy on the ball, just giving away, certain fouls. Some of them weren't fouls, don't get me wrong, I thought the referee weren't great, but that doesn't take away another abysmal performance. Naismith was first player to have a shot on target, with around about 15 minutes left on a free kick, a centre-back. Who's very good at shooting. We've seen that, his time at Luton. Obviously, the Bournemouth goal being the standout. But it's worrying when a defender is your first player having a shot on target. I didn't think Keeley had the best of games, if I'm being honest. That save he done, where they could have made it 3-0, yes, that was a good save. I thought it was offside, but clearly it wasn't. But coming out, I don't like that. Like I've said, guys, I think if he does that at some point in the season, continues to come out as far as he does in games, it will cost us. There was a moment where, I can't remember who it was, but he come up, could have seriously hurt himself, where he ran all the way out, could have seriously hurt himself. Just little things like that. He needs to cut that out. And it's good to see that he's, not sitting in his box, so to speak, but he comes way too far out sometimes for me. And I don't like it. And even then, his distribution style, I'll be honest, I don't think that was great either. But yeah, a lot of poor performances. I mean, if you talk about players that were good, I'd say Bramall and probably Kadoa, really. That's it. Obviously, linked up for the goal. Bramall had a good performance and could argue for him to start now. And again, I know he's getting into the swing of things, but he's actually doing stuff. Do you know what I mean? He's actually doing stuff, having a decent game against Coventry. Obviously, got an assist today. Whereas you look at McGuinness, and I know McGuinness is a good player in his day. You look at individual performances that he's had, like Derby last year, for example, away. But he's just not up to speed, and he was all over the place. His passing was awful as well, especially in that first half. And yeah, it is frustrating. Like I say, I didn't expect us to win the game today, but I didn't really expect us to lose, if I'm going to be totally honest. And just the way we played, it hasn't been convincing throughout the season. And again, if you get an odd couple of results where you don't play great and you win, like the first two games, especially the Wimbledon game, you're not going to complain. But it's the fact we haven't seen a good performance throughout. A game which is a worry, and obviously it is a quick turnaround. We go into that Wigan game, who I believe won 2-0 today against Peterborough. I mean, I know Peterborough have been awful this year, but that ain't going to be an easy game. I remember that time in the Championship where we were, fighting for playoffs. Wigan were down there, and they ended up beating us 1-0. And it was a very good acrobatic goal. So I'm expecting another tough game there. Then obviously, take it game by that game, but then we have got Cardiff after that, who, when I last looked, they were 3-0 up against Rotherham. Again, I know Rotherham are not great. Yeah, they won 3-0 in the end, but still, at least they're looking, decent. And to be fair to them, I know they obviously drew against Port Vale, but you look at their first game, they had more than enough chances. They should have really won the game based on their dominance of chances, and they eventually took them. But we're not really having chances, guys, and that is a worry. That is a worry, and yeah, a lot of changes need to happen. But yeah, if we don't address the wing-back situation, especially a Doughty replacement, I worry for us this season in the sense of we're not going up, at least. So yeah, we need to address that, and I still think we need another attacker. And there was large parts of the game where Yates was up there by himself. Especially when he's not fully fit, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So, yeah, very, very disappointing day today. But yeah, do let me know your thoughts. And also, before I do end it, credit to Bradford. They thoroughly deserved it. I thought the player Humphreys was good. Obviously, before he got the goal, which was a tap-in. Poor defending from us again, like I say. He had a shot before that. And he did have a pretty good game for them, so fair enough. Fair play. They did deserve it, and it will be a challenge for a lot of teams going to their ground this year. I do believe that, partly because they got a lot of momentum. Obviously unbeaten as well still this season. So you have to give them credit. They did deserve it, but yeah, from us, poor. Very, very poor yet again, and still a lot of things need to be worked on and improved, and more players need to come in. And I even look at today, before I end it, I know he didn't come on, but Tom Holmes is on the bench, guys. Like, this guy, he needs to be sold, mate. Like I said the other day, he's not at the level for us, in my opinion. He could do a good job somewhere else, but sometimes it just don't work at certain clubs, and that's how I feel it is with him. So yeah, for me, I'd have been putting Chigose on the bench again. Just my personal opinion. But yeah, let me know if you do agree with that. But yeah, don't forget to smash a like, subscribe, follow me across on my socials, subscribe to the Extra channel. Do let me know your thoughts. Bradford fan, Luton fan, or a neutral fan if you watched. Until next time, take care. Peace.